Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And then today's video, take my AirPods out. In today's video, we're going to go over my battle hardened deck, as well as my performance and how I did. Overall, like short kind of version is I missed top 8 by one win, or the chance to at least get into top 8 by one win. I ended up with an overall record of 5-3 with Axis Dory, which wasn't too bad. The cut to top 8 was kind of like 6-2, although there was like 12 people with 6-2, so like 6 people that got 6-2 missed it. But anyway, we'll go over it. We'll go over the deck. We'll go over each matchup, kind of how I did. It won't be a crazy long video, but it'll be a little bit longer than my normal videos. I know I usually try to make my normal videos a little bit shorter. But just getting into the deck really fast, I wanted to kind of go over it. It's not going to be a deck tech by any means. I'm just going to kind of talk about the deck and what some last second changes that I made for my deck tech that I did with you all. So the first thing is, those are all the images of the heroes that I had. So the first thing was I ended up going with Dorinthia, obviously Axe's build. And I did Hatches of Mind, with Arcanite Skullcap, Fennel Spring Tunic, Gallantry Gold, and Valiant Dynamo. And then in the sideboard for equipment, I had Ironhide Gauntlet for Benji, and then just basically a full set of Null Rune for Kano, and then obviously the one extra Null Rune when I played Viserai. For the deck itself, other than my last deck tech, which you can check out if you look at my previous videos, the main difference that I did is I took out Nourishing Emptiness. I took out the 2 red Steelblade shunts, so that's 3 cards total. And what I did is I added in 2 red Fate for Scenes, and I added in 1 Out for Blood, and then kind of changed my blues around. So I went up to 15 blues. I added in the swing as a blue. What I wanted to do is I went from 2 Out for Bloods to 1 Out for Blood, and then went to 2 in the swings because I wanted a 0 cost blue if I had to use it. Just to try to help me push through stuff late game if I don't have resources for it. I took out Nourishing Emptiness just because I knew I was going to be playing a lot of Oldheims and Viserais and stuff like that, so that card's not going to hit more times than not, and it just didn't seem worth the value in Blitz format. And then I took the 2 red Steelblade shunts out because I wanted to be able to consistently block with cards from hand, and because Blitz is so fast paced right now, like unless I get that shunt in Arsenal, it's not as good because I'm paying 1 to block 6 when I could just block with 2 cards for 6, right? It was okay in the Oldheim matchup or with Dominate, but other than that, like I found that it could brick my hand in like a fast paced game, so I didn't want to have to use it. And against like Kano and stuff, it just sucks because it's really like just a dead card. It's a 1 pitch red that doesn't do anything else. So I didn't want to do that. So I ended up making those changes, but overall this was the deck. 15 blues in the deck, 4 defense reactions, full set of Blade Runners and hit and runs. In the swings, Out for Blood red with 1 blue, Outland Skirmish, Spill Blood, 1 route, 2 Stinging Steel Blades, Overpowers, Glint, Spoils Board. Pretty standard, right? But this was the deck, went 5-3 with it overall. Let's go ahead and do this real fast. So going into I'll go through all 8 rounds, and I'll kind of go through how they ended up going, and like what my thought process was and stuff like that. So round 1, played Benji. First round is Benji, and Benji's always a wild card. Ended up losing this, so I lost 9 life to 0. I was up really a lot. I was beating him 9-18 at one point, and I had a really good tempo. Long story short, what happened with this is he hit with a card from hand. I forgot what it was, and then went and got Spring Tidings. And then he played a Crane Dance, right? So he played a Crane Dance after he had banished Spring Tidings, and he had 1 card in Arsenal with 1 resource floating. My thought process was it's probably a Razor, right? So I made a misplay, and what I should have done is I should have blocked out the Crane Dance with my Ironhide Gauntlets because I hadn't used them yet, and made him Razor the Crane Dance in order to then play Spring Tidings. But the thing is, what he could have easily done is he Razors the Crane Dance. Then he pops Breeze Rider Boots, giving all his attacks with combo go again, and then plays Spring Tidings for 2 go again, and now I can't block it. So either way, like I was kind of screwed. What I found out after the game, which I didn't know until then, was he didn't have Razor. Like he drew into a Razor off of Crane Dance, which was not fun for me, and just overall not very good. But made a misplay. I probably could have won the game. Not 100% would have won, but dropped round one. Should have had a better showing in that game, but it's all good. So round one went to Benji. Round two, I played a Bravo. This was a very much a kind of slow Bravo build. It had Blessing of Deliverance. It had like sigils. It had all the defense, not all, but a good amount of defense reactions. Really just trying to, slow you down while also coming with a big attack. For this one, I'm going through my notes here, y'all. Sorry. So he took a lot of damage. So turn one, I got him. I pushed through 2 damage and then arsenaled, which was really nice. And then he hit me for 3, so it was 18, 17. Then he took 8 damage. I forgot what the exact line was, but he didn't block at all. And I was like, okay. So he went down to that, or he took 6 damage down to 11, from 17 to 11. And then what he did was, because he didn't block, he basically played Imposing Visage to go get Showtime, and then Showtime to go get Crippling Crush. So Crippling Crush was arsenaled into his and he passed, so I knew I kind of had to try to push damage. And what I did was I ended up pitching away a Fate Foreseen, which sounds really stupid knowing a Crippling Crush is coming up, but he had blocked with a couple cards from hand, and I legit forgot about the Showtime pop where it draws a card. So I thought he wasn't going to have the resources to pay for Crippling Crush Dominated, so he did. So that hurt really bad. I blocked with all equipment just to kind of take some chip damage, and then took 8 damage. And what happened was I didn't block with any cards in my hand, so I had 4 cards out, obviously 2 cards at random go discarded. I had 1 blue in my hand, and I had a Blade Runner. So if he takes the Blade Runner, like he takes the Blade Runner, I still can push damage, but if he takes the blue, I'm a little bit in trouble, because at that point it was 10 to 11 in life. And he didn't take my blue, so it allowed me to at least have a 2 axe swing hand, get domino counter off, and keep going. And from then on out, like, I just kept value blocking him. He really couldn't do much. He kept swinging with Anthos for 4 and 6, which I could easily block out. And I just kept willing him down. The life total was 10 to 11. He was in the lead, and I took him from 10 to 11 to 9. He Blessing Deliverance to go back up to 12, and then I hit him for 9, and then I hit a high Spill Blood Dominate attack and put him down to 1, and then after that, he just lost all tempo. So won that game. Overall, not too bad. Misplayed the Fate, but him making me discard but not making me have a blue taken away really helped me out. So at this point, I'm 1-1 in the tournament. Round 3 out of 8, I played Kasai. I'm super comfortable in Kasai. Like I said in my last video, like, I'm totally okay with playing against Kasai as an Axis Dory. I feel like I value block better than her. As long as I can prevent her from making copper early, I think I'm doing really well. This Kasai, and like, everybody makes misplays, but one thing was, so it was a pretty good game. Or actually, round 3 wasn't Kasai. I'm so sorry. Round 3 was Oldheim. Round 4 was Kasai. Oldheim, this was a slow ice Oldheim. Like, there's not much to say about this game. He double Oaken Olded in 3 turns, as well as an Endless Winter, No Fuse, and Arouse the Ancients. So, like, on top of being really tanky, like ice based build. So it's just a really hard matchup. Ended up losing 6-0 in life. I played a really good game. I felt I just couldn't close out. It's Oldheim. It's really hard. But overall, that's like, it was just a loss. So at this point, I'm 1-2 in the tournament. And, with 5 rounds left, I basically have to win out in order to try to make top 8. So, it's Blitz. I'm playing Axis Dory. I'm just trying to have fun, not try to get too rattled. So ended up going to round 4, and then we played Kasai. Play Kasai, like I said before, I'm super comfortable in Kasai, just prevent her from making copper early, and I feel like I outvalue her late game if she can't get a blood on her hands turn. The one thing he did was he ended up making 4 copper, and when he was at 4 copper, the score was it was 12-13 or 18-13, sorry. And what he ended up doing was he used his 4 copper to play cash in and draw 2 cards. Now, good card, good effects, stuff like that. But with Kasai and Dory, like, at that point, I'm winning in life. Like, save that copper for blood on your hands. He just kind of used all 4 copper. And then when his blood on his hands came up, he only had 1 copper to use. So he couldn't do any swing turn. I'm not saying he would have won or lost if he wouldn't have cashed in, because he wouldn't have had a turn if he wouldn't have cashed in that turn. He would have just had an Arsenal pass. But at the same time with Kasai, like, you got to play for that win condition, I feel like. But overall, like, it was a good game. Ended up winning 5-0. And I ended up winning off of Overpower at the end. And I used Gallantry Gold with Blade Runner and Hit and Run. So, like, I Gallantry Golded with Tunic. I axed, Blade Runnered it, played a hit and run, and then swung again. So it was 3, 6, 9, 10. So it was really hard for him to block that out. Overall, just value blocked and won that. So at this point, I'm 2-2 in the tournament. And we go into round 5 here. As my stuff's all out order. We played Viserai. For Viserai, it was overall a decent game. He just chipped me away. I got him down to 10 life, but he had a really good double Sonata. So turn 2, he had a double Sonata. It wasn't like an insane 5-card reveal double Sonata, but he ended up drawing a total of 4 cards from the double Sonata, and he just kind of put me from 20 life to 13 life, even with me pretty much fully blocking out. And then from then on out, he just had I was on the back foot, so it was really hard overall. Just Viserai doing Viserai things, and do what you can. So at this point, I'm 2-3, not looking too good in the tournament, to be completely honest. But you know what? We're just gonna keep playing, having fun. And we ended up playing. Why is my stuff so out of order? We ended up playing an Oldheim. So I'm 2-3. I'm going to another Oldheim match. I'm like, crap. Here we go. Whatever. Let's play. This Oldheim was more of an aggro-based Oldheim, not very much defense reactions, wasn't blocking me a lot. Turn 1, I dealt 2 damage, and then he took 4 the next turn, and then he took another 4 the turn after that, and at this point, it's 10-15, I'm winning, and I noticed he wasn't crowning a lot, so I don't know if he's had good turns or good cards or whatever, but he ended up, he spinaled me twice, but he didn't dominate it either time, with Terrace Hunter or anything like that, anything crazy. He didn't do anything nutty with Awakening or anything like that. It was aggro Oldheim, but it was more of just kind of a tempo based build. I don't know. So overall won that game. It was a really close game up until the end. It was 10-8, and then I just hit him with a couple key turns at the end to kind of put him on the back foot, and ended up winning 10-0. So at this point, I'm 3-3 in the tournament. 2 rounds left. Let's just try to get to 5. Maybe some crazy way we get lucky and make top 8, but I highly doubt it. But regardless, we'll play. We ended up playing a Viserai. This Viserai, we ended up winning. He couldn't do much. He kind of bricked on a few hands. Nothing against him as a player. Just got unlucky and bricked on a few hands. And I ended up beating him. He was using stuff like Draw in a Dark Dimension. It wasn't a super jank Viserai build by any means. It was really good. But I think he just got unlucky with some of his turns, and I ended up taking tempo and beating him in a close game 4-0, but ended up pulling it out and going up to 4-3. And then for our last matchup, we ended up playing a Rhinar. So we're 4-3 right now, going against a Rhinar. This Rhinar did a double Reckless. He used his Reckless Swing twice. What really helped me was I forced him to use it. So I was at 6 life, and he was at 5 life. And I ended up routing one of his cards back into his hand and glinting. So when I did that, it forced him to have to use Reckless Swing from hand because he would have died otherwise. And by doing that, I went down to 4, but at the same time, I got his win condition out of his hand because he was trying to get me low enough to then Reckless Swing and kill me off Reckless Swing. So it really helped me out. That route glint combo did really well, and ended up beating him in a close game, 2-0, as Rhinar games normally are. But overall won the game, ended up the tournament 5-3. Overall, I enjoyed with how I did the tournament. I wish I wouldn't have had that misplay against Benji, but at the same time, if I beat Benji, then I'm going to end up playing different people anyway. So you can't really, because of placing and stuff like that. So you can't really dwell too much, on a loss, because you don't know what would have happened if you would have won that. Right. But overall 5-3, not bad with an Axis Dory build, somewhat happy about it. I recognized a couple people recognized me at the tournament, got to talk to a bunch of people. If you saw and came up to me and said hi at the tournament, please reach out to me on Discord, or on the Fab Discord, TCG Talk. Reach out to me on Twitter. It's down the link in the description below. Really enjoy it. But overall, had a really fun time. I'm contemplating going to New Jersey and playing in the calling there. We'll see how it goes. I'm either going to run Axis Dory or Katsu, at least initially. I also have Chain. Just kind of test a couple different decks and see which one I would like best. But yeah. Battle Hardened was really fun. 128 players, 8 rounds of Swiss, cut the top 8. I think Brennan Patrick made top 8. A couple other good players made top 8. I think Kano won it. I'm pretty sure. It's a local player. He is really good. He's won a couple skirmishes here with the same deck, so it made sense that he won it. But yeah, hopefully I'll enjoy this video. I try not to make it too long. I don't want a 40-minute freaking kind of breakdown on how the event went 5-3. Super happy about it. Like, I wish I would have done better, but 5-3, giving the deck that I was using in this meta, Axis Dory. Like, everybody that I played was like, oh, Dory, okay, cool. And then when I flipped the Axis, they were like, whoa, okay, Axis Dory. So a bunch of people were super surprised by this. So it was really cool to see. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I will be talking about some of my Dory builds here in the future with the CC and Blitz and how I'm going to make adjustments. And so be on the lookout for that, as well as some more Ninja content as well, because CC is going to be starting back up. But yeah, hopefully y'all have a good rest of your day. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. And yeah, see y'all next time.